Hello, awesome people. I hope you're having just an amazing day today. Today we're taking a look at another short story. It's in this collection of the School of Thoth. It's called The Worm of Urakhu for folks. It's also written by Richard Tierney, who is an author of this collection. School of Thoth, which I'll link to in the comments below, was published in the mid-90s, and it's a collection of a lot of his work set in Rome and the Cthulhu Mythos. For you folks, some of the references in the Cthulhu Mythos have been a little less here and there, but this one's definitely clear. It mentions Antartakos, who is a major character, and such. So that's cool. All these are set by the characters. Simon Magus. Simon is a gladiator from Samaria. He is in Rome. He was captured in there for a couple of years. Won his freedom and learned magic. That's where his surname Magus comes from various things and such. And so that's where his powers come from. This is more, even though this isn't the Cthulhu Mythos and such, this is more in the Sword and Sorcery, inspired more by Robert E. Howard and such. And so we start off with him. As a reminder, my reviews are spoiler free except for the first few pages to get you caught up, kind of like what you would find out on the back of a cover of a novel or a short story. So basically what's happening is that our main character, Simon Magus, is in a desert and he is fleeing pursuit from some folks deeper and deeper into the desert. His sandprints have just been left behind him, but he knows that the wind, like has happened in the last few days, it'll blow overnight and blow away his prints and so forth. And he's looking for water, and he believes that the Romans that are after him are going to be able to get out and so forth. And then we flash forward about 3 pages in to the Romans. And the Romans are hunting him with a big number of people, a whole cohort, because of events that happened in the previous short story, The Ring of Set, and such. I don't want to spoil it too much, but they're hunting him for reasons that are related to the previous short story for you folks. So there you go. And now there's a cohort of Romans that are fleeing and so forth. They have an Egyptian guide. They're in Arabia, and they have an Egyptian guide that they hired to get them to the right area and to follow and track Simon Magus and stuff like that and such. And about 4 or 5 pages in, we'll find out that the desert they're about to head deeper and deeper into is supposedly stalked by a god worm dragon thing, and that's the key name of where we're getting our title from. This is a short story for folks, The Worm of. And so that's where this title is coming from, and so forth. And that's the person who lives there. And he killed an entire Persian army of about 55,000 people that tried to invade the eastern areas and so forth, and to raid lost areas and in ruins and such. So that's what's happening as the setup for the short story and so forth. So this is definitely a fun little chase set in Arabia in the lost desert and so forth. I don't think that the ending was as much of a surprise to me. I predicted it as soon as the character was introduced. I was like, I know what this is going, and I predicted it totally and so forth. One of the things I think was happening in the first, a few pages, when I found out, maybe about 10 pages in, when I saw that it was a desert chase into a lost area with a lost city and so forth, I thought that might be heavily influenced by Robert Howard's, and I'm going to totally mispronounce this, The Fire of Ashurbanipal, which is set in Arabia in a lost ruins city. It's also in the Cthulhu Mythos too, but it's more sword and sorcery, and has a lot of stuff that happens in it. No spoilers, but I definitely feel some influence from that here too, and so forth. This is set in the Roman empires and such, and it's soon after the previous one. Most of the ones have been self-contained stories where one ending doesn't reflect the beginning of the next one, but this one actually does. So I can't give you too much of a spoilers for what's happening, just as a heads up, because I want to keep you fresh and ready to get so forth. I thought this was fun and interesting. I think it's a little too long. It was, again, 37 pages long. It took me about an hour and 40 minutes for me to knock out typical stuff. Like his stuff tends to be 37 pages long exactly, like 4 times now. About 6 or 7 stories into this collection. So it's very, very common for him to write it. It's very, very interesting. He's so specific at 37 pages. Anyway, but it took me about a little longer. It's probably too long. There's a lot of world building in this one, and it was talking and flashbacks and stuff like that, rather than actually talking, having some good solid like combat or scene, right? And so forth. So I feel like it's a little, probably like maybe 5 or 10 pages too long, or just didn't use its length as well. Some of the other ones do, but I did like the basic settings while it was happening, and so forth. Again, I could see the ending happening, the trick. But I could see it totally, and so forth. It's very, very influenced by Robert E. Howard. And his particularly Cthulhu Mythos stuff, which also tends to be pretty sword and sorcery. So I did like it, but I'm not going to go to the mattresses for it. It's probably more like a 7 out of 10 for you folks. Because again, the ending's unpredictable, nothing happens that you can't predict, and so forth. Not even the twist about 5 or 6 pages before that sets it up. Nothing like that happens. So there you are. That is the story, The Worm, for you folks. I'll go ahead and leave you to it. Have you read it? If so, what'd you think about it? Let's talk about it in the comments below. If you agree or disagree with myself, down out of 10, let's also talk about that too. If you like this, why not hit the subscribe button, the like button, the bell icon if you're feeling frisky. Know that your friends know Sword and Sorcery fans. This is definitely influenced by Conan and some other stuff. Or just, stuff like Cthulhu Mythos fans, which Tierney fans, right? Those sorts of folks too. As a reminder, this channel's name is The Worst Thing About New Books. That's a quote by French philosopher Jacques Joubert, who said that the worst thing about them was that they kept us from reading the old ones, right? So this is definitely older stuff that we might have forgotten about. So, and then finally, I want to thank you so much just for taking some time out of your day and investing it in watching my video, because we all have so many things, right, that are happening in our lives, and we're pulled in so many different directions. So the fact that you spent this time with me is incredibly humbling, and I appreciate it. So thanks again, and have an amazing day.